The following is a presentation of Muddy River News.
Tower Pizza and Mexican offers a full menu of pizza, wings, and Mexican favorites. Try the shrimp tacos, fajitas, or a Jeff's special pizza. Extra sauce, pepperoni, sausage, ham, and mushrooms, all on their homemade crust. Tower Pizza and Mexican, 2701 Broadway, Quincy.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Daily Muddy. I'm Ashley Conrad. Joining me today, a very cool guest, Mr. Ethan Beckler with One of One Images. Ethan, how are you?
I'm good. Good
Good.
to be here.
I'm glad you're here because shame on me. I've never heard of this before the other day, but after I did, I took a look at some of these images and they're outstanding. I mean, they're just incredible.
Thank you.
So let me start with just a question. So One of One is a very appropriate name because you take images of these subjects that there's nothing like them, right? They're the only one of its kind.
Right.
Snowflakes, sand. This one that you just showed me, which is amazing, and we'll get to that in a minute.
Yes.
But so this is photography, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
How did you get into this?
Back, I don't know, I would say 10, 12 years ago, I was just enamored with the snowflakes that were coming down here in Quincy. And so I bought a little thing called an Allo clip, which is a little macro lens that could go onto your iPhone. And I started taking pictures of snowflakes in. And a friend of mine about 5 or 6 years ago who lives out in Bandon, Oregon, where I grew up, he said, hey, you do these great snowflake pictures, why don't you try sand grains? And so he sent me some sand from the beach that I used to go to as a kid. And it just kind of took off from there, photographing grains of sand.
Now, where is the sand from? Because it's not from around here.
No, it's
right?
from Bandon, Oregon.
Bandon, Oregon. Okay.
Yes, it's
Very
a small
cool.
town, about 2,500 people, just about an hour north of California.
Very cool. Very cool. So now, are you still using the same clip?
No.
Okay.
No, I've moved on.
Okay, you've evolved. I
Yes.
figured, because these photographs are very incredible. Yeah. So on a day like today, you're taking a picture of a snowflake, right? And everybody knows that snowflakes they're all one of a kind.
They are.
How do you capture this?
Well, I've done it in a couple different ways. On days like today where it's barely freezing, it's very difficult to photograph snowflakes. The best is, if it's 20 degrees or lower. So I'll usually catch them on maybe some denim. I've got an old pair of jeans in my car that, I'll just, catch the snowflake on and then photograph it with that blue background, which looks really great. Or I'll catch them on glass and then photograph them with nothing behind it.
Wow.
And then just on glass.
Very cool. So real quick, while we're talking about this, do you have a couple snowflake images you can
I do
show?
have-
Okay.
Let's see.
So while you're digging through, now all of these photographs are for sale,
Yes.
right? And
Yes.
if people want to buy them, they can get a hold of you.
Absolutely.
So you do have an email address, which is oneofoneimages@gmail. Now, do you have a website?
I do have a website. It's
Okay.
just oneofoneimages.com.
Perfect.
And then I've got a Facebook page and an Instagram page.
Okay,
And
and
I
it's-
post a lot more on Facebook just because Instagram is so video focused. So
Yeah.
Facebook's a little more photograph friendly.
Now, you have all of these up there, all these uploaded, or most
yeah,
anyway, so
most
people
do.
can go and look
Yes.
and see what you photographed. And
Absolutely.
these, of course, are amazing photographs, but they also would make awesome decorations.
Absolutely.
Yeah, very
Absolutely.
cool.
I've got I've got cards, packs of 15 different snowflake cards that, people can buy.
Very
I've got
cool.
calendars, things like that. Here's one. There's a snowflake that I captured a couple years ago on denim. And you see the color that's on there, that pink and that blue. That's from what's called thin film interference. So if you've ever seen color like swirling on a bubble, like or
like
or in oil,
translucent almost, yeah.
And basically, if there's an air pocket in the snowflake, that thin area of air, it like bends the light and then will cause color.
Very cool.
So
And that almost looks like, like you have like the glass ornaments or the plastic. I mean,
Right.
it looks just like it.
Exactly.
It's very, very cool.
Exactly. These don't come with the snowflake, though, attached. like
Well,
my
I
sand
mean,
pictures. However, I do have a way to do that, and I will be doing that in the future.
Really?
Yes.
So talk about that a little bit more because while you're showing that, actually, so the images that you have are of a particular subject, and as you just mentioned, the snowflakes can't be sold with the photograph, of course, naturally, but you do have grains of sand, and you actually include that grain of sand
Yes,
with the
I do.
photograph. That is
Yes.
so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's a snowflake that I captured on glass, and I needed some color behind the glass, and I ended up using my business card and then just put that about an inch behind the glass.
So
to just
jeans
get
and a
some
business
color.
card, really high-tech
Exactly.
backgrounds. I love it. I love
Exactly.
it.
People
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah.
So, and then once I moved on a little bit from snowflakes, I started working on grains of sand.
That
so
is
here,
just so neat.
I look for garnets in the sand, and I usually put a garnet on top of whatever the bottom grain of sand will be, whatever that is.
Okay.
So this one right here is a very small garnet. It's about 0.2 millimeters wide. So 5 of them wide will make 1 millimeter.
Wow.
And then you can see next to my signature, so there's the larger grain and then the small grain right there.
That is so cool. And of
So-
course, unique. I mean, look, if you want something unique, no one will ever have this
Absolutely.
photograph,
No
ever.
one. I never
Just
sell
you.
more than one.
Yeah, that is so cool.
I do sell more than one snowflake picture. Some of the butterfly pictures I'll do more than one.
Yeah.
Like here's one where I've limited it to one. It comes with the actual wing of the butterfly.
Oh my
So
gosh.
you can see up here this like ridge up
Yeah.
here.
That's the actual ridge of
There.
the...
And
Huh.
so that's one of those little small ridges at the top of that butterfly wing.
That is insane. So now you started with snowflakes, right?
Yes.
And you just grew into looking at these other things like this butterfly. Is this
Yeah.
a foot, you said?
Yeah, this is the foot of a butterfly. I found a deceased butterfly over at the place up north with the veterans home.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
The
yeah.
garden
Uh-huh.
over there. I found a deceased butterfly, and so I photographed the wing and stuff, and then I was like, well, let me photograph the foot that just fell off the butterfly. So I did that, and this print actually does come with the foot. And actually, I sold it this morning.
That's insane.
Someone paid me for it. So
That's insane.
I did another one where I turned that foot upside down, and then I put a sand
Inside
garnet
it?
in the foot. And that one I posted a couple days ago, and it got over 100,000 likes. That's probably been my most famous.
So you
picture
went
so far.
viral with
I
a
went
butterfly
viral
foot
with
and a
butterfly
piece of
foot.
sand. That is so
Yeah.
cool, Ethan. I love it.
Yeah.
So do you know anybody else who does this?
No.
No.
There's other people who photograph, bugs and
Sure,
snowflakes.
sure.
Don Komarechka, he's a very famous photographer of snowflakes, and he's out in Russia, I think. And so is Alexei. His name's Alexei Kojalov. He's a very good snowflake photographer. And but anyway, I'm the only one who's really doing sand grains like this, where you include the subject.
Did you show that one yet?
No, I
that
did
one's
not.
really, really
This
cool.
one's very
It almost looks
interesting
like a
because-
fingerprint.
Yes,
Yeah.
it looks like a fingerprint on that grain of sand. And you
Yeah.
can see next to my signature, I'm sorry, not next to my signature, down here, I did a little window. There's the 2 grains of sand that are in that picture.
So cool.
I have to balance them first off,
Yeah.
and then I have to photograph them.
I didn't even think about the balancing part.
Right,
Man,
that's not easy.
I wouldn't imagine. You just use like tweezers or something? Or
No, I've got a little piece of plastic that I use, and I just basically pick it up using a little surface tension and then set it down.
Now, is this a hobby or full-time?
Oh, it's a hobby.
Yeah?
I've been working at TNT downtown,
Okay.
just
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
down here
Uh-huh.
for the last year. Before that, I was at Time Will Drainage Products for 10 years. So this is just a part-time thing. Helps my just pays enough to help my wife stay home and stay home with the kids. And
Excellent.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
Well, I love what you're doing. I love the subjects, of course. I've never seen anything like it. Very, very, very cool and unique. Everybody should go check it out. It's something unlike,
Yeah.
I've never seen it.
The strangest
Very
thing
cool.
that I've had is a request. Someone sent me the ashes from their mother, and then I photographed those
Ooh.
with some shells that they had collected. And so that was kind of interesting.
I
Yeah.
bet. It kind of seems, when you first hear it, it's kind of morbid, but then when you think about it, it's like,
Yeah.
that's
My
that's
wife
pretty
just said,
neat.
"Don't sneeze."
Oh my
Yeah.
God, can you imagine?
Yeah.
Oh my God. That would be bad. That would be bad. That is
Yeah.
so cool. Ethan, I am very thoroughly impressed. Love what you're doing. Love the reason behind it.
Mm-hmm.
Congratulations on all of your success, and hopefully you continue to grow and may even more of your photographs go viral. I think
Yeah.
that's just so cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
Yeah,
Thank
of
you.
course. So again, Ethan Beckler, one-of-one images of snowflakes, sand, images of insects and other subjects that you probably have never seen before and will likely never see again. One-of-one images, go to oneofoneimages.com or on Facebook, one-of-one images, and or email oneofoneimages@gmail.com. Ethan, so cool to meet you and so awesome to see your work. I love it.
Thank you.
All right. Coming up next, Britt B and Ash C and Coffee Talk. Stay tuned.
The Liquor Booth is your home for a huge selection of beer, wine, and spirits. The Liquor Booth has 2 locations in Quincy, 3520 Broadway and 1500 North 12th Street. The Liquor Booth, where it's always happy hour.
Welcome to the Abbey, a Quincy tradition. With 6 big screens, a new larger kitchen, and now more seating capacity, the Abbey is the place to be before, during, and after the big game. Come enjoy fan favorite appetizers, steaks, burgers, and a variety of daily food and drink specials. Can't join us? Carryout is available too. Now with a convenient drive-up window to better serve you. 1736 Spring in Quincy. Opens at 3 p.m. Tuesday through Sunday. Come join all your friends at the Abbey, a Quincy tradition. Are you looking for the perfect venue for your next special event? Check out Utopia Event Center. Utopia has a large banquet room and an awesome bar area, perfect for anything from birthday parties to formal corporate meetings. It also offers a photo booth, stage for a DJ or a live band, and a fully stocked bar, all for only $300. Check us out at utopiaeventcenter.com or call Barn at 217-430-6559 for more information. Utopia Event Center, 900 North 12th Street in Quincy.
Tower Pizza and Mexican offers a full menu of pizza, wings, and Mexican favorites. Try the shrimp tacos, fajitas, or a Jeff's special pizza. Extra sauce, pepperoni, sausage, ham, and mushrooms, all on their homemade crust. Tower Pizza and Mexican, 2701 Broadway, Quincy.
And we're back. It's time for Coffee Talk. And of course, Ash C and Britt B. And today we have a very interesting one, I think.
An interesting conversation was held last night at City Council. And Bob covered a story on that.
Very good story, by the way. Kudos, Bob.
It's going to bring, I think, this isn't just going away. And the story or the concern was last night, somebody asked, what is going to be our policy when the illegal immigrants are transferred from, Texas, transferred them to Chicago. Well, Chicago is eventually going to probably redistribute them downstate.
Sure.
Illinois declared themselves a sanctuary state. They're one of 12?
Ish. Something like that. It's like Oregon, Massachusetts. There's a whole list of them.
So technically every city, I guess, would be...
within that state is technically now a sanctuary city.
Yes. However, there are some cities that are actually declaring themselves a sanctuary city. Chicago is one of them. And then we have places around the area that have actual, sanctuary spots for these people.
Yeah.
Macomb is one of them. That's one of the real close ones.
Beardstown.
There was another one too.
I can't remember.
So this was, posed at council last night. What is our plan? What are we going to do?
Are we a self-imposed sanctuary city per se? Or are we just like...
No, we haven't said out loud that,
we've kind of just been adopted into it because we're part of Illinois.
Yeah.
And because we have certain resources, I guess, maybe.
But we don't.
Yeah.
We don't have the resources.
Right.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
We don't have the resources to help the Quincyans.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest thing is the our own aspect in this. So,
one of the things I said was, the human part of me, no virtue signaling here. This is just humans helping humans. I say, yes, I want to help. Mm-hmm. However, I equate it to, like when the cabin pressure is lost in the plane and you're supposed to put your own mask on before you help anyone else. I think we've lost cabin pressure and I can barely put my own mask on.
Yeah.
So as much as I want to help as many people as I can, I think we're struggling a little too hard for that right now, helping ourselves. So I'll let you continue with some of what was discussed there last night. But I think it's important to know that even regardless of what is said about how we feel about being a sanctuary city, it doesn't change the fact that we're all human. Of course, we want We want to help everyone.
Yeah,
It's
like-
just we can't.
Before this, I mean, I guess before we go on with this isn't about race.
No.
It's somewhat about culture, but this is not, about race to us. I think to say we want to see ours first, we want to see Quincy thrive first, I don't think that's racist to say.
No.
But that gets turned on when you say, or when you speak out loud or say, hey, I'm concerned about this. Like, it turns on immediately to, you're a racist. Or
Well, that's
this.
virtue signaling.
And that's
I
not,
think, yeah.
And like, that is where it all goes to shit,
Well, because that's not the argument, and it's not really an argument per se. It's, yes, we all want to help people. Can we do it responsibly? Because I'll say that, I don't know who decided that Illinois would be a sanctuary state. I'm assuming the governor.
It was decided in 2017 by the General Assembly, I think, and then in 2021, the governor
kind of re-up that.
Yeah.
Right. So he's saying, yes, we will be a sanctuary state. And, by that effect, that means that every city within Illinois will be a sanctuary city, whether they have the resources for it or not. However, if Chicago doesn't have the resources and now they have to redistribute,
they don't want to put the burden all on Chicago.
I get that, but then what is the governor who decided that this was a good idea? What is he going to do to help places that these people are sent to? Because we don't, even if we could, right, even if we had the resources, we don't have a plan in place to do it properly, right?
Yeah.
So, and these are human lives.
And I don't think it's going to happen the way that they said city council. Like, the example was, what happens when the bus gets shipped overnight and all these people show up in Washington Park? I don't know how it's going to happen, but I do know that this will be mandated. Like, this day is coming where the state of Illinois or whoever will mandate that, Quincy, you get 50. Macomb,
Well, it
you
would be
get
nice
50.
to have a plan to say, okay, how and when is this going to happen, and what have other cities done appropriately that helps ease this? And it's a burden.
Yeah.
Right.
It really is.
It is.
Because the other thing is, if you're coming here and you are going to be a contributing member and fill those factory jobs that we need filled and fill that void in the workforce that we need filled, then okay, we will welcome you. But
it should be done legally. I think
But
there's
that's
a
the
way.
big
So
thing.
right now, it's just an influx, right? We don't know who's coming. We don't know their background. It could be rapists, killers. They could have drugs. We're not searching. We're not seizing. We're not doing
because
anything.
you can't ask.
You can't ask. So that is one thing that the Quincy Police Department said. We're allowed to ask their status, right? But we're not allowed to ask anything further, I think is what Yates said.
Yeah, I know. He said, there is a loophole in the state law that you cannot ask an immigrant's legal status without a federal warrant.
Yeah.
You have to have a federal warrant for whatever reason to ask an illegal immigrant about their status. It's just all backwards, It's all like the state says one thing, but our federal law says another.
Right.
It is federally illegal to illegally enter this country.
Yeah, but there has to be, okay, and here's where I get caught up. There has to be something that our federal government is getting from this, right? And some people can say, yes, it's voter numbers, because the more immigrants we have, the more likely it is that they're going to vote Democrat, right? I mean, that we've seen that all over everywhere, right?
I guess I don't really understand, though, how can they vote, too, if they're illegal?
Well, I mean, that's what I mean. So if the federal government says no illegal immigration, but yet we have open borders, essentially, right? It's just an influx, and that's based on federal legislature. So if the federal government says no, but they're not doing anything to stop it, and they're allowing states to have these sanctuary states and cities, and they have to be benefiting from it one way or another. And here's my thought. And I think it's bigger than just voter registration or lack thereof, or voting numbers. I think it is, I think the overall agenda is to broaden the wealth gap, right? So immigrants, when they come in, they do pose a risk to the working class, meaning that if they're willing to work for less wages, it pushes United States citizens out of the running for certain jobs because they're willing to work for less. Now, I'm not saying that U.S. citizens are wanting to work. I'm just saying if they did, right? Because there is that other narrative, right? That we can't find anybody to fill these jobs. So I do think that, if they're willing to come over and work, great, but it is going to pose a risk to people in the United States, citizens in the United States who want to get jobs. Now they likely will have to settle for less wages because there is competition out there with the immigrants, right? And let me stop right there and say I know that I'm an immigrant, right?
Yeah.
Legal or illegal, I know that I was not here first. So let me just go ahead and throw that out there.
We're all immigrants.
We're all immigrants, okay? So I understand that. But I think the bigger picture here is the wealth gap, meaning that it's bad for working class. Who's it good for? The wealthy. Because who benefits? The employers who get to pay less wages, right? Mm-hmm. But then also in like capital gains and people who can afford to invest money, they are investing in the companies who are making more money, through the increase in the GDP and all of these people spending more money in the United States, right? That is going to happen.
Yeah.
A lot of it will be. I don't want to say that. Never mind. Scratch that.
They aren't. But in regards to that too. They aren't, these employers aren't having to pay the illegal immigrants health care.
Right.
Because we're already providing those services for them anyway. We are giving them the essential services, one of them being health care.
Right. See, I heard that we give the federal government or the state, I don't know who, is giving a certain amount of money to every immigrant who comes in.
I mean, I think to some degree, because
so that's
you're providing them with essential services. The federal government is providing the states with money and funding,
right?
But then, you're
so
paying them.
So you're saying, no, this is illegal. We can't have it. Hang on, here's some money. Yeah. And I feel like it's so muddy that no one knows where the money's coming from, where it's going, who's paying what.
Well,
it's
coming from our taxes.
Well, not just. I think it's also, I think a large portion, but a lot of it is.
The people receiving these services don't have to pay taxes.
Right.
Like we're ignoring our own, which is.
Right. And they're using all of, of course, the burden on infrastructure goes up, right?
The burden on crime, because that is inevitable. If you look at Germany, Sweden, Britain right now, they all allowed immigrants in, and they are in a destruction zone right now. If you look at the statistics on crime is particularly rape. You know, most of those in Sweden, it was 49% of those. There was like a 3,039 people were raped in whatever year. 49% of those were not originally from Sweden.
Okay.
They were migrants.
Yeah.
50% of the German crime is committed by migrants. It's just. I'm not saying migrants commit crime, but I'm saying we all are culturally different. It is about culture. Again, it's not about race, it's about culture. And America, inevitably, we surround at the end of the day, we are focused on freedom, right? Our number one thing is freedom. Well, a lot of the people are coming from a cultural mindset where not everybody is allowed those freedoms, particularly women. That's my big beef with this too. You're bringing in your mindset and your culture of women are less than. In some of these places, it is perfectly fine to stone a woman to death because she had sex before marriage. Right. And these ideas and values, you can't just take that away, you know. And I'm not saying every immigrant or every person thinks this way.
No, we're not painting with a broad brush, but it is a valid concern.
It is, because look at Europe. I mean, it is plain as day. Like it was the writing on, or it is the writing on the wall. I don't know. It's I hate saying that. I don't want to look at, or I don't want, if you take this, and
this is a matter of human safety, not a matter of who's committing, or what's. It's not a matter of skin color or class or anything. It's a matter of, okay, we're not doing a good job of screening anyone coming through right, to the
Yeah.
United States. We're not doing a good job. But we have to have a passport. I have to have a passport to go anywhere. It's all asinine to me.
I think that, like if you took everything that we just said and like and all you heard that we think all immigrants are rapists,
No.
then you're in denial of what the actual problem is.
Yeah.
Like we are literally making loopholes in our state law to not offend people. We're not
Yeah.
allowed to talk about this because
Right.
we're trying not to offend federally illegal immigrants. And anyone telling you to embrace it's wrong if you don't embrace the outsider, then you're 100% denying our human instincts. Like our human instincts that have allowed humanity to survive for millions of years of evolution. Anyone who tells you to embrace outsiders with zero hesitation, they don't have your best interest in mind.
I saw this thing, and it was like, if you're not questioning things and you're just going with the rhetoric and the narrative,
Yep.
That doesn't make you intelligent, nor does it make you morally better than anyone else. It just makes you obedient. And I love that is called out, because it is our duty as humans, as mothers, as fathers, as sisters and brothers, to unite together and ask these questions of why is this happening. And I think that, it's not, if you think that it's just because we want to help everybody and everything, that's not the story.
Yeah.
There's a bigger story here. There's a power play happening for one reason or another, whether it's, voting numbers, whether it's trying to push through certain things, whether it's the wealth gap. There's something at play here, and it's not just bringing everybody and welcoming everybody in. And I think those questions should be examined under a microscope,
Yes.
because there's something here, and it's not helping us. I can promise you that it's not helping United States citizens to just let everybody and their brother, and I say that kind of tongue in cheek, because if you look at any video of all of these people coming through, it's not women and children, it's men. So it's interesting if you start looking at everything that's happening with these numbers, and you question if you
But the
question
argument
everything.
is women and the argument will be, but you'll turn away children. You'll turn away, and that's where people are pulling at your heartstrings.
I mean, if you look at it, there are very, very few children coming through. I mean, a lot of them are men.
And it's cold for me to say, maybe, but like I would like to see the focus on our children first.
I think you can't help anyone until you can help yourself,
and we
that is
can't
a valid,
even help
valid
ourselves
point.
right now at this point. Like that's.
And
that's
to
the
say
issue.
that sanctuary cities, because I saw a lot of articles that said, when I said who gets to decide that a state or a city is a sanctuary city, the rhetoric is that cities choose. And I think that is dangerous to put this all on our city leaders. I know that maybe there are some things that they have chosen that basically put them in the path of being a sanctuary city, but I'd be very interested to know if Mr. Trope decided that, yes,
he said,
we are going to offer this, and we are going to offer these benefits and these resources.
He did say that they were working on a plan. It was very vague. Like, I think that this plan...
But plan or not, are we still going to get these
I don't know, but
people?
They need to make it loud and soon, because...
Transparency is going to be key here.
But like when you say, we're working on a plan, well, you better have this plan in place.
Especially if you don't know when or how we're going to... amass these
Mr.
people, right?
Ben Uzlak said that we shouldn't assume these people showing up here are illegals. Well, we can do that by determining...
Are they documented?
Did they have the means to get here on their own? Are they working? That's how I think we can determine that.
Well, I think the difference between legal and illegal is documentation, right?
Yes.
I think it's easy enough to determine if someone coming into
but
the city of Quincy
you can't ask. You can't ask.
Can I?
You cannot ask for well, I don't know how that works being a citizen.
And what happens if...
actually, no, I don't think so. It's the same thing. Like, this originally started, I think, for landlord tenants, that issue,
So what happens if our Quincy Police Department, let's say one of our fine QPD officers asks one of these immigrants if they are documented or not, if they can see their documentation?
They can't without a federal warrant. Unless that they're asking for some reason that requires a federal warrant, they can't ask. It's the loophole.
What happens if they do?
I don't know. I mean, nothing
I'd
really.
say chance it.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I don't really know.
I don't know.
I think
that you can get sued. I think I read somewhere that we can get sued.
so. We can get sued by illegal immigrants for
No, from the government.
Oh.
Like federal or state or something government can sue.
Huh.
It's just everything is bass backwards, and you can't. I feel like there's just no. We're in the upside down.
Yes, but about the city council getting on it and everything too.
Uh-huh.
Like I said, Uzlak said that we shouldn't assume. I do think like if he is the person supporting that, then in being a city leader, then he should be. If he's like encouraging this welcome mat, then I hope that he is the first to offer his home for these families seeking shelter.
Yeah.
Because that's, I mean, it's snowing outside. It's cold outside. Where are we putting the bus load of people?
I mean, I guess my question would be to anyone supporting this, what are you doing to help our current Quincy
poverty
community with poverty and people? Because we just had a conversation with Blessing Hospital, who's going to work with 10 other agencies to even help
the homeless situation that we have now.
I mean, it just doesn't seem like we can't help people in Quincy who've lived here their whole lives, whether
and
with
paid
homes or without.
taxes into the community.
We don't even have resources for them.
No.
Right? So, I guess, good luck. I don't know what else to say. And not that we're banking on an increased crime rate, but I guess just be prepared for anything, because there are no answers right now. And to not have a plan is probably not the best plan.
Yeah. I want to stress that, when we talk about culture and stuff like that, we're not trying to whitewash our culture. We understand that it's whatever, but I'm not I don't think.
This is like you wouldn't invite someone you don't know into your home.
Well,
okay? We're inviting a busload of people we don't know into our home.
Yes.
That is insanity.
That cultures might not mesh with our culture or the big idea of freedom.
Yeah.
Freedom for everyone.
Yeah. Which I think that's being inhibited every day more and more. We don't see that as much. I mean, I think that the three big things are, it has nothing to do with who these people are and who they aren't. It has to do with the fact that we don't know who they are, right? That's number one.
Yep.
Number two,
have your guard up, I guess.
We don't have resources to help our own. How are we expected to help anyone else? I guess it's, again, back to the masks on the airplane. You have to help yourself before you can help anyone else. And number three, what is the bigger picture and what is the bigger plan? Mm-hmm. Because I think the numbers and the lack of plan is maybe that was expected, right? Like, I guess we can just shove these people wherever. And let's not forget, whoever they are still human.
People.
They are human lives, and I feel like we're playing.
Using them as game pieces.
They are pawns on something, on some level or another. We are using them under the guise of helping them.
Yes.
And I think it's disgusting.
Yes.
And shame on everyone in support of quote unquote helping people that you don't even, you know nothing about, and you don't have the resources to help.
I want our Quincy community to thrive with the same culture that we have of, a culture that encourages productivity, it encourages values, and it encourages peace overall. And I just don't see those culture things happening if we're not putting the people that are putting the effort first, If we're not putting Quincy first, then this culture isn't going to happen.
Hopefully, if nothing else, maybe part of the plan can include having our concierge that we have, for other people moving here, just to bring them in and be like, hey,
we've hit 45.
There you go.
45
right?
by 30.
And that's not being, that's, a little tongue in cheek, but hey, these are the expectations of Quincy. And if you want to fit in and, be a productive member of society, here's what you can do. And I think that would be a really good starting point. So let's include that in the plan, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. That's the only idea I have. That's about it. I don't know if we have any other resources, but maybe we can create some pretty damn quick. Hopefully we will.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks for all the information.
Yeah. I know it's heavy.
But these things, I don't always know enough about them, and I can always count on you to bring me the information. And then I think we, in turn, have a nice conversation that kind of throws it out there. Like, this isn't us being, we're not being just pessimists, and we're being realists.
Concerned.
Realists, I think, is more like
Yeah.
it. Just I don't think if you look at any other sanctuary city or state, I want to see how
it's
who's-
benefiting that city.
Yes, and who's doing it well, and let's take some pointers. And until we see that,
Absolutely, yeah.
I wish we could just be like, you know what? I think we're gonna back out on this.
I think our city leaders need to stand up and say, I mean, if we don't have a plan, which we don't.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, on that note, I think we'll tie it up, right?
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's been a great
Cheers.
coffee talk.
Muddy River News. Our home, our news.